Not fake news. Breaking two stories for you. Donald Trump just destroyed his top enemy. This is real leadership. And Rush Limbaugh comes forward with dirt on Paul Ryan. Fire Ryan now. See what he's got to say. And nope, we're not doing this one. This is next. Trump is a brilliant way to ban Sharia from America. Do you support? And I just did a video where in Montana, I believe it's Montana, they just voted Sharia law 56 to 44. They voted it out of Montana. And it still has to be signed. It's Bill 97, okay? And Montana governor has to still sign it. So I think everyone should contact him and let him know that he better sign that and not to veto it. Because if he vetoes it, Sharia law could be in our court systems. They could legally stone you in the park. Man, you better get your acts together. Right? Okay, so that, whatever. I'm not doing that now. We'll do that next. So just subscribe to the channel and you'll be able to get everything. And here we go. President Trump celebrated 3 huge wins this week. He secured thousands of jobs between the Charter Communications deal and passing the Keystone Pipeline, and now he claimed that this military victory. In keeping with his promise to crack down on radical Islamic terrorism, President Trump issued an order for an airstrike that ended the life of the terrorist leader and al-Qaeda member, Qari Yassin, via Fox News. Secretary of Defense James Mattis approved of the strike and said that the death of Qari Yassin is evidence that terrorists who defame Islam and deliberately target innocent people will not escape justice. The airstrike conducted in Afghanistan succeeded by killing Qari Yassin. The prolific terrorist was a leader in Pakistan branch of Taliban and was responsible for the loss of many innocent lives, including 2 members of the American military. Qari Yassin personally planned numerous attacks, including the bombing of the Marriott Hotel in the capital city of Pakistan. Dozens died in the bombing, including Air Force Major Rodriguez and Navy technician, the officer Matt O'Brien. The terrorist, who was also behind the bombing of the Pakistani bus carrying members of the Sri Lankan Cricket Club, 8 died as a result of the attack, including 6 Pakistani policemen. Many more were injured. Yassin was not just targeted for his role that he played in the previous attacks, but also to curtail future bombings. The terrorist was considered by other members of the Taliban to be the best trainer of jihad when it came to explosives. Well, he's gone, thank goodness. Yet, that's it. Yassin was the Taliban's bomb expert, who trained young jihadists in the subtle art of suicide bombings. Many of his students are still at large. The U.S. military has been hunting Yassin for many years, but it took the concentrated effort of President Trump and General Mattis to achieve results. President Trump promised that he would take off the kid gloves and take the fight to the terrorist leaders, which is exactly what has happened with this airstrike. After former President Obama was successful in finding and killing Osama bin Laden, he rested on his laurels and left the power vacuum in which the Middle East. But President Trump has reinvigorated the fight. I am certain that the death of the terrorist leaders will be a common occurrence under President Trump, instead of once a term affair like with Obama. That was real bad with Obama. President Trump has his work cut out for him. That's true. The terrorist presence in the Middle East has been allowed to grow for 8 years. Luckily, he is committed to using full strength of our military to weed out radical Islamic terror. What do you think about the great week for Trump? And let's get to the next story right now. Breaking: Rush Limbaugh comes forward with dirt on Paul Ryan. Fire Ryan now. There's a showdown in Washington, D.C. between the forces in the Republican Party, and it doesn't look good for Paul Ryan. a video. During his Friday program, Rush Limbaugh focused on his heated battle between Ryan and President Trump. President Trump has been very involved in legislation and will replace Obamacare, and Paul Ryan is trying to pin any failure on Trump. All right. There's a lot of secret wheeling and dealing that happens in Washington, and the establishment wants to keep it a secret. They do not want the public to know about how the sausage is made, so to speak, because it involves a lot of corruption. President Trump and the Republican Congress made a full promise to repeal and replace Obamacare, but the Republican Congress has not delivered on their side of the bargain. Despite having 8 years to plan an alternative, the best Ryan could muster is Obamacare Light. Paul Ryan failed to deliver, but he is trying to foist his failure onto Trump. As part of an establishment, Ryan can't allow Trump to have a victory. However, at the same time, it appears that President Trump is giving Ryan the rope he needs to hang himself. By appearing to publicly support Paul Ryan, he is bringing attention to the bad health care bill. When the poor bill fails and a better one is introduced, it will be proven that Ryan is obsolete. Donald Trump has proven that he represents the will of the people better than anyone else in the Republican Party. He won an election that none of the other candidates could have won, despite facing off against one of the least likable women in political history. The establishment Republicans are just as out of touch with the American people as the Democrats. We have grown fat on the Washington, D.C. hog, and they have proven that they cannot be trusted when it counts. Paul Ryan is part of the dying breed of Republicans that needs to go. There are better faces that can represent us, that actually represent the conservative values that saw Trump elected. The outsiders need to take control of Washington because the insiders have failed. What do you think? And do you think Rush Limbaugh is right about Paul Ryan? Please comment below. Let us know what you think. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anything here. President Trump has been very involved in legislation with the Obamacare. Paul Ryan is a member of the establishment, and the only interest in the establishment right now is to see Trump fail. Trump cannot be allowed to win, because if he does, it'll prove the outsider does a better job than the so-called experts. Washington has developed a culture that is intentionally hostile to the outsiders. They do not want the average person to be able to walk in and start doing their job, especially not if they're doing it better. See, and that's the part I missed. Sorry about all of that. But we basically got the gist of this. Paul Ryan, not really there to help Trump, needs to go. He's part of the swamp, needs to drain out. New people who care about